guys, thanks for tuning in on today's video. I'm your host Gabe, and today we're going to be looking at this 2008 Chevrolet C6 Z06. I am extremely excited to get behind the wheel and review this car. The Corvette, of course, is a very well-known, popular, and very sought-out name in the car industry, and even people that are non-car people or non-car enthusiasts know the name Corvette. Not only is this car extremely iconic in looks, but I think one of the most sought out and the most important part of this car is the naturally aspirated 7-liter 427 cubic inch LS7 motor that puts out 505 crank horsepower from the factory and about 470 foot-pound-feet of torque from a naturally aspirated engine that is, in today's standards, extremely good. Before we continue, let's go ahead and get a little exhaust clip of that naturally aspirated LS7 V8. Very nice startup, very aggressive. The whole car starts to shake. Sounds really good, guys. Now this car in particular is fitted with some long tube headers and a Breathless Performance Air Intake. Unfortunately, the present owner of this car did buy this car used, and he actually never took it to the dyno. We're assuming it's probably making around 540 crank. You guys in the comment section below will probably be able to help out with this. This does come with a 6-speed manual transmission. So the C6 Z06 is only available in the 6-speed manual transmission. Weight plays a major role, and this car is essentially all fiberglass and just very light material. The fact that this car only weighs about 3,100 pounds, you know, that's game changer right there. And fiberglass is just one of the light materials. This car also has a crap ton of carbon fiber. I mean, the most important fiberglass components are actually found underneath the car, and that's actually the transverse leaf springs that this car has. It's a very unique to the Corvette lineage. You know, the key takeaway from using a transverse leaf spring suspension as opposed to the conventional coilover and spring is that it really just saves a lot more weight and it helps a lot more with precise turning. Now that we've talked a little bit about the performance characteristics, some basic brochure facts about this car, it's now time to start taking a look at the exterior components of this car. You know, I really have only one word, and I've already used it before. It's timeless. I mean, the C6 Z06, well, the C6 in general, just looks so aggressive. They look so sporty. They have this very beautifully crafted aerodynamic look that's very unique. I actually really like the fact that this car has a very aggressive front as opposed to the base Stingray or the base Corvette. And to complement this aggressive look from the factory, the owner added a carbon fiber lip on it, which looks extremely nice. Of course, helps a lot with downforce. Right above the lip, you do see that this car has a pretty massive size grille. Of course, that serves for cooling, allowing air to channel into the engine. Now, if we look at the profile of the car, again, extremely aerodynamic, very sport-like. One thing that you notice is just how extremely low this car is. That is actually thanks to the leaf spring suspension that this car has. You can't miss the beautiful and aggressive 5-spoke design chrome wheels that really look nice. It kind of gives it that pristine, stock, classy look. As we make our way towards the back of the car, that's where you start to see the iconic massive red taillights that are just so nice, so aggressive, and so Corvette. Of course, you have the iconic centered exhaust system. I think that is quite possibly my favorite setup for this car. I know that they like to interchange them throughout the different generations. From the rear, you can notice just how aggressive and how big and just how meaty the fender flares look. The C6 Z06 just has a very big presence, and even though it's a very low car, it is a very wide car and very long car as well. But overall, the rear of the car is actually quite possibly my favorite part about the C6 Z06. And of course, we can't miss the massive carbon fiber spoiler that the owner added to it. It is kind of fading away, but nonetheless, it does give this car a little bit more of that presence, that downforce. Now let's talk a little bit about the C6 Z06 interior. Look, it's not very special in today's standards. Here in the infotainment system, you have a very old screen design. You can always substitute that, but I guess it gets the job done. It is touchscreen as well, which a lot of new cars don't seem to have, which is again, very, very impressive. In terms of space, you do have a pretty substantial amount. The Corvette has always been a very spacious car for a sports car, at least. Of course, you have the center console space here. You have 2 pockets, the glove compartment. The trunk space is where you really have a lot of space. I mean, I'm actually surprised. You can fit a pretty reasonably sized suitcase in back there. As we make our way towards the driver focused area here, the steering wheel is not all that impressive. I really wish they would have come with like a flat bottom steering wheel. You know, it's just your typical leather wrapped sports steering wheel. Well, sport. I'm actually very impressed more with the gauge clusters. I think it has that very nice sport orientation. I love the color scheme, you know, black and white and red. Very nice touch. But look, overall the car is old. You're not gonna have a lot of, you know, nice amenities and luxuries, but it gets the job done, and that's very important, especially if you're going to consider daily driving this car. Before we continue, I just want to say just how comfortable these seats are. Not only do they look very sporty, but they're extremely comfortable. They're literally like individual couches for a daily driver car. This is going to be something that people are really going to be enjoying, and I hope that one day, if you guys drive it, or you guys drive it, you guys can relate to me, because these are extremely comfortable. They're good on the back, good on the holsters, even though you know, they're not necessarily the tightest around, but overall it is extremely comfortable, and that's not something that, you know, of course, you are stuck with. You know, you can always get an aftermarket seat for that matter. All right, guys, so now that we've talked a little bit about the performance aspects, the interior, the exterior, I think now would be the appropriate time to start driving the C6 Z06, and boy, am I excited. Alright, so the first thing that I notice about this car is that the clutch is extremely light. It's very forgiving. I was kind of going at low speeds there, and it wasn't clunky at all. I mean, really, it was very nice, very enjoyable. Right now I'm going at what, 40 miles per hour and just shifting normally. Of course, you don't buy this car to drive normally, right? Let's do our first pull of the day. Oh my God! Hold your horsepower. What? Wow. That is impressive. Oh my God! This thing flies! God, you really feel just how light this car is. Like, there's just so much power and such an ease and smoothness when you shift. It really does feel like this is like a feather. I mean it is compared to the power that this car has, but Jesus, wow. Let's get a little rev off. That is America. Seen these videos on YouTube of people putting GoPros or cameras, taking a look at the speedometer, and it's insane how it flies, literally flies. There's no like, it just flies. But it's crazy to actually feel that and see that in person. Like, it's real. It's real. This thing flies. This thing fucking flies. Even like a slight pull like that from second gear, it really does pick up, and the exhaust is not too loud. I mean, really, it's like a healthy amount, because again, let's just say that you daily drive this car. You're not going to be doing this, what we're doing, in a major city. Maybe if you lived in like the Carolinas and you just have that like amount of space, but in reality, you don't want to be doing this, and you're not going to be doing this. So it's important to have an exhaust system that's not very droney and very repulsive. I mean, it's a great setup. All right, guys, so now we're going to take it easy now and just drive it very conservatively, as you will be doing pretty much a majority of the time. Right now, not really flowing the car, really getting it excited. extremely manageable. Of course, it's very sensitive because you do feel a lot of bumps, but it's not very repulsive. You know, as you guys can see in the video, I'm not bouncing up and down because it's just so aggressive. You do feel some bumps here and there, but overall, I mean, you are in a Corvette, right? So now let's talk a little bit about visibility. Look, the visibility is a lot better than a Camaro, I'll tell you that flat out. I mean, the windows are very large. I mean, the front window, the windshield is very large as well. Overall, the visibility is really nice. And you know, the way that this car is designed, the aerodynamics, how it like aims downward, you kind of have a glimpse of the road, and it kind of does feel more of a sports car. I mean, again, you are extremely low to the ground. Cornering as well, held it very, very nicely. I mean, it's just the Z06. Now, in terms of fuel, the Corvette Z06 does about, say about 15 to 16 in the city and about 22 to 24 on the highway. Today, we probably saw about 9 miles per gallon. Not even 30 seconds out of the gas station and I'm already hooning it. Now that you guys seen just how quick this car is to accelerate, in terms of braking, pretty accurate. I mean, I wouldn't call it the most precise brakes I've ever driven. I stand corrected. The brakes are really, really good. Giving it a little bit more pressure, a little bit more speed, you really start to appreciate the brakes. Well guys, that is the conclusion of the driving portion, hence the conclusion of this review. I'm at a loss for words, really. I'm so shocked at just how insane this car is. From a daily driving conservative, just driving around point A to point B type of car, and then to the performance monster, and I didn't even really push it to its limits. What an exciting car, and this really did change my perspective on Corvette. I mean, guys, I've always been a Camaro guy, but man, this is really eye-opening. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you guys liked this video and found it informative and entertaining, go ahead and give this video a like, guys. Greatly appreciate it. And if you guys enjoy my content, go ahead and subscribe. It would make the world to me. Guys, go ahead and comment in the comment section below. What did you guys think of this Z06? This one in particular, the video. Let me know in the comment section below. And guys, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, my reviews, my vlogs. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.